Speaking on my siblings is a tough thing, because I got a lot of love for them, but through growing up, we never seen eye to eye. We never, really understood each other. And it was kind of like all the way around. I got two brothers, actually three brothers, and two sisters, um, two stepbrothers, and one stepsister, you know. But they like real brothers.
Are you in the middle? Towards you older or younger?
Most definitely. I got an older brother, same mom, same dad, and I got a younger sister, same mom, and a younger brother and another younger sister.
Okay.
Outside of just with my old man.
Okay. So let's go and do it like this. You try to, understand the making of a man. Of course, your life, takes a lot of twists and turns. How would you say was your childhood growing up as far as the family dynamic? What kind of son you were to your parents? What kind of parents? What kind of parents were your folks to you?
Shoot, man. To be honest, me growing up, man, I kind of had my own perspective with the way I seen things, and seeing my old man and seeing my mother growing up. Just because I was more back and forth. I had a resentment towards my old man, at a young age, and I never really knew why, until I got older. And actually had kids of my own. It took me almost 20 years to find out why I really didn't like him growing up, but I always showed love. He was never able to see that I didn't like him in a way, but they was definitely around. He was around since I was bad, I was back and forth, you know what I'm saying? Sean Cotton mama told me, man, that pretty much, sure that I wouldn't be nothing if I keep hanging around with the crowd. She was my principal.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, middle school. It was crazy.
It's crazy. And remember, I know Sean Cotton spoke on his mother, how they used to, hustle just trying to make by. So that's actually very crazy. So I would say, what kind of kid, well, before I ask what kind of kid you were, you said it took you a while to find out why you had resentment towards your father. What was the reason after you found out, 2 decades later?
Oh, man, him not being around, and pretty much letting me go stay with my mom, man.
Did he ever give you a reason or excuse why he wasn't around?
Well, man, you getting to the nitty gritty, and this is the whole thing, man, right here when it comes to me actually going to stay with my mom. I wanted to. Like, I made that decision like at a kid because I didn't know that I had a brother, a mom and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I was kidnapped at 2 years old, and I pretty much just stayed with my old man until, I started talking to my older brother and my mom and stuff, So I didn't really know much about even having that side of a family, you know what I'm saying? But when I did find out, I was very, very interested to go meet my mom and my brother, as if I never met them, But I was just too young to pretty much remember them at that time.
Can you speak on being kidnapped at 2 years old, the details around that?
Man, that part there, it's still kind of black and white, man. I can just remember my mom screaming and, get my baby back type stuff. And I'm looking at my brother standing on the sidewalk, but it get glimpsy, you know what I mean? I remember getting in the car, man, and that was it,
Who Like, do you know what was it? A ice cream truck or what?
No, it was my father, man.
Oh, your father kidnapped you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it kidnapping though when your father is just wanting you back though?
Man, he actually made the newspaper, man, in Lake Providence, man. Showed me, you know what I mean, the peace and everything, you know. But yeah, you know, it's crazy, man. You know, Texas got them type of laws too. So
now that you're older and you have children yourself, do you understand why your father or a father would attempt to go outside of the law to take their child back?
Most definitely. But even more, man, I want to elaborate on that decision that I made too, though, man. Like to actually leave my father, you know what I mean, to go stay with my mom, because that's what had me angry at him for so many years. And it took me 15 plus years, 20 years to figure that out. Because I was always just mad at him, like, dude, you ain't never did nothing for me. I always had that feeling like you were never around, like when I truly needed you, type of thing again.
How old was your father when he had you? Do you know? If you were to guess.
I would say 28 or something like that, probably. Somewhere else.
Grown man.
Yeah.
Grown man. If you don't mind elaborating on the decision, what were you contemplating for you to leave and go stay with your mother? Man,
I said 28.
Yeah, well, please, yeah, correct.
Man, my old man probably had to be somewhere in his younger 20s, man, when they had me. If he about, you know what I mean, 60 almost.
Yeah.
Man, don't hold me down.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
What I mean? If he about 60, you know, almost, you know, yeah. You know what I mean? About 20 something, about 20, 21, 22.
All right. Can you elaborate on the situation as far as your decision to go stay with your mother? And let me ask you, do you feel that was, you know, hindsight's always 20/20. Was that the right decision based on how things turned out?
Man, that's one of the best questions you can ask me, because I fought with myself for years, man. Even until I got grown, like I know if I had to stay with my old man, like life would have been different. You know, I'm almost an extremist to a certain extent, you know. So if I grew up a certain way without knowing a certain type of lifestyle, I wouldn't have wanted to know the other side, especially if it's good already. So I think I went through this path everything I went through for a reason, you know. Actually making that decision, you know, man, I lived every bit of it, you know. When I say every bit of it, man, you know, old lady, you know, mom's side of the family, don't hate me, but, you know, Lake Providence, Louisiana, man, from Milwaukee, you know, and compared to what I was seeing, I was more sheltered with my old man. When I got to Lake Providence, man, it was wide open. Man. Like, you know,
how is Lake Providence for those who've never been through that part? About how many? What's the population? About what's the racial divide? Blacks to whites.
It's a big racial divide. You know, you got the white people on one side, you got black people on the other side of the lake. You know, of course they look totally different. You know, the white side gonna look clean and all that and stuff, and on the other side, man, you got one high school. All the schools are connected. High school, middle school. And so I think
all
they
have the same name,
too.
or
yeah. I think it's all connected. You know what I mean? So they whole school. You know.
What kind of? Can you remember? Like, were you living in an apartment or a house? And what can you remember how it was set up? How many rooms it had?
Man, we was in the projects in Lake Providence. You know, I got into my first fight. You know. Shortly after getting there, you know, I had a bike. You know, I had just got it bought for me. You know, mind you, I didn't know how to fight. You know, I was messed up, man, coming from Milwaukee. You know, I was, you know what I mean, up there selling cookies to buy other kids stuff, and I get down here and these mugs willing to take stuff from you. So it was like, it's a whole different environment. So I'm really messed up, you know what I mean? So, but I got my bike took, man, got beat up over it. I fought for it though. I fought every bit for it. You know, went to the house, told my old lady, you know what I'm saying, that I'm sure somebody took my bike. And that was some of the worst feelings, man. I started, after me getting older, I realized, man, I started doing things that was gonna bring me down as a man and as a young man by making certain decisions at the age. I wouldn't have understood them then, but I realized, man, as I got older that, you know, I'm making bonehead decisions, but I don't really care, you know what I mean? But speaking for that incident though, after getting into that fight, man, my mom was like, man, you don't let nobody take nothing from you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pick up something, whatever, you don't let nobody put their hands on you. And that stuck with me, you know what I'm saying? After that fight, you know, I ain't had to really be told to fight, you know what I mean? Much, but mind you, I ain't know how to really, I think that was my first fight I ever shoot.
Sometimes when you fight and you feel like it's easy to get through it, yeah, that definitely starts a whole nother persona.